very warm welcome to you all to the one-on-one set. In the studio tonight, we have with us Kanika Ramtohul. She is the chairperson of the Women's Commission for the Mauritius Mixed Martial Arts Federation. And tonight, during this episode of One-on-One, Kanika is going to share with us some more insights about this combat sport. Kanika, thank you so much for joining us in the studio of the MBC.
Thank you, Kirill, for having me on the sets tonight. Well, yes, I am the chairperson of the Women's Commission of Mauritius Mixed Martial Arts Federation. And yes, as you just said, mixed martial arts is a combat sport based type of sport, actually. And more people know it as a sport where you're in the cage and you fight. But I'm here to tell you that it's not just that. There's much more to MMA. And not only for everyone, but for women as well, women and ladies. So we're all in all here to encourage more women and girls to enter MMA because it's the sports I can say today that can bring a whole lot more to the individual, and you get to grow and expand emotionally, physically, and mentally.
But what is exactly mixed martial art about? Can you give us a little bit about its history, maybe, or about how, the techniques that it's involved in that kind of combat sport?
So mixed martial arts, as the word itself says, it's a combination of different martial arts, if you want. So, for example, you got grappling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so stand-up fights, ground fights, all of them fit into mixed martial arts. The only thing that mixed martial arts is recognized as a sport today. And we at Mauritius Mixed Martial Arts Federation, we're here to promote the sports. It's good to know that our federation is recognized by the government, by the Ministry of Sports. And we are also in affiliation with IMAF, the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, which is the governing body worldwide. And we are in good relation with them. We represent them actually in Mauritius, and we are also there in Africa. So it's good to know that through IMAF, we get to develop MMA as a sport. So IMAF itself has existed for the past 10 years, and we are with IMAF ever since. And we get the opportunity to spread the word that MMA is not a dangerous sport, contrary to what many people think. Ever since it has existed, it's good to know that IMAF started with professional and now is entering into amateur. So I'm talking about elite, if you want, creation of athletes. And then finally, we have it is so well, it consists of all that you need actually in terms of regulations and rules to practice MMA as a safe sport, which is very contrary. Many people, when you tell a girl, come, let's do MMA, many of you tell you, no, it's a dangerous sport. It's not. Ever since it has existed, it is a very safe sport. And through IMAF, we have all that is required that we follow as well at the federation to practice the sport in a very safe and secure environment. So there's no such thing as to believe that MMA is not a safe sport. So that's what we are here to assure everyone. Yes, join us. It's the best thing that I believe kids, adolescents, women, men can do as a recreational sports. And obviously, if you want to become an athlete, it's the platform to join. Yes.
When we talk about, combat sports, martial arts, people tend to associate it only with self-defense. But would you say that these are more simply that an efficient method of self-defense?
It is when you come to the recreational side of it. It is a way to learn to defend yourself because when you're on the mat, this is what you learn. And when you're in the cage, I mean, you must have seen UFC fighters. What are you there for? To learn to defend yourself and to get out of the fight. So it is basically a technique of self-defense. I mean, it is a way for which we learn to defend ourselves. But then going further into it, it's not only about defending, it's about learning to live in a more efficient way on a daily basis. It's not just about
Exactly.
self-defense, physical. It goes to the mental and emotional level as well.
Yeah, it's about instilling that self-confidence
Yes,
in a way, right?
exactly, exactly. That is what we all lack, I believe, at some point in time. And if you want to really know um, your capacity, I think MMA is one of the best sports through
Yeah,
which you'll get to know that. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And Kanika, now how did you get involved in the mixed martial arts? Talk to us about your journey. What truly inspired you, to keep going when it gets tough? And now you're in fact the chairperson for the Women's Commission at the
Yes.
Federation.
Yeah, so it's good to know that we launched our Women Commission early this year. It was in March. And my journey started like 10 years back.
10 years back then.
And I was one of the ladies in the first workshop ever to be organized by IMAF. And one of the representatives was here in Mauritius to launch MMA. And so there was myself and a little girl of 5 years old. We were the two only girls to be on that workshop there and then. So my journey started back then. And ever since, it has been a wonderful one. There are days that where you feel like you're not good enough, but then you have that fighting instinct that no, you can make it. This
Yeah.
is what makes the difference. And it's a learning ground. It's a learning ground. And I'll be very honest, as a woman, we all women wear so many hats. We are housewives, we are wives, we are mothers,
Yeah, many
we have our job.
responsibilities. Yeah.
Yes, so wearing so many hats can be quite tough at times. So MMA, when you're on the mat, gives you that opportunity to release all that stuck energy, that brain fog type of stuff that we have there in the mind. And the moment you work out and you finish the session, it's like, yes, you know who you are. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Yes. But Kanika, do you feel that women are interested in combat sports now compared to 10 years back? How do you see the evolution in some sort of way?
So as of now, if I may say, at the Federation, we have like 15 branches all around the island. And we have a crowd of at least 20% female
Yeah.
in the whole group that we are. And to tell you, so we launched the commission this year, and we had one lady athlete who participated in the African Championship, and she won the silver medal, which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
And we got the opportunity to organize a few self-defense workshops ever since. And we've got good participation from ladies that are not members of the federation. But I believe that there's quite a lot of work there. Yes, when I talk about elite championships, we have many, many, many girls. We have youth, and we have ladies fighting. Yes, people are finding it more and more interesting, but there's still work there.
It's a
There's
work
still
in
work there.
progress then.
Yes, right, and it goes on. But I'm sure that it is the sport to embrace. If you want to keep fit, you want to be strong. If you want to be that one person who doesn't want to allow anyone to bully or talk about it, society problems like domestic violence, MMA can be the answer to all of that because it brings a sense of clarity and serenity. I'm not talking about having the women fight back. It's more mental clarity. Do you want to carry on with that way of living and walk out if need be?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
In today's world, do you think that it's essential for a woman, to learn a bit about combat sports, know a little bit of self-defense, so that she can exit out of any conflict when it
Absolutely.
arises?
Yes. I mean, conflict, it's not, I said physical conflict, but very honestly, when you do combat sports, when you do MMA, when you face to such difficult situations, mental clarity is what um,
Hmm.
is is of utmost importance here. And very often, I'm sure that it'll be much more easier to take a decision rather than fight back. So this is what it brings. So for the individual in herself, you become very strong and very assertive and very confident about what you want. This is what you get out of the mat. Even if you don't want to be an athlete, if you want to be, I mean, to start with, we have so many opportunities open for ladies and girls who join us. And that mental clarity is what is there all the time.
Yes.
You know exactly what you're in for, and you wouldn't allow anyone to abuse of you, or and you might not want to fight back, but you'll know how to say what you have to say.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
And talk to us a bit about how your classes actually conducted.
So classes are really fun to start with. We normally start with warming ups, lots of drills, the type that you really enjoy. And it's not hard, to be very honest, because we're not hard on you. You do what, especially if you're new to us, because we like to encourage people to join trial sessions. So the first trial is always like, come and see what it's like. And if you're happy, you join us. So it's about warming up, and then we go for the techniques. All right, the techniques, and then after that, we do what you call sparring, which is small simulations of like you have an adversary and you have to fight your way out and really defend yourself and work through, like
Yeah.
work through the fight. And it goes about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you really enjoy. Like, and you change adversaries all the time, and it's really a wonderful thing. I'll rather say partners because when we're on the mat, it's more like partners. And there and then, when you're working, it's really getting to know yourself.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and work on what is not really good, what you're not good at, and work at your best at what you're
To know
really
about
good
your
at.
strength and weakness, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, it's all about that.
And you develop that physical strength as well
Mm.
altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not about using the physical strength there on the mat when you work. It's more about flowing through it.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
And I've in fact assisted some of the training session,
Mm.
at Carbone.
Yes.
So it was very interesting, and I've noticed that most of the sessions start with, some relaxation one techniques. So
Yes.
why is it important to be, physically and mentally relaxed before starting the training for combat sports?
Okay. So when you go for an MMA session, it's really about you. Each and every one of us know why we want to be here on the mat. So then you said, I mean, let's say you're back after hard day's work and you're into your MMA session. You come here for yourself. And that is why it is so important to start to tune into that energy and know what you want to work on. Each one of us could have personal reasons why we're here. Some of us could be to be that great athlete, that elite athlete. So it's really about working on yourself here, your
Channeling the
own.
energy.
Absolutely. So that is why it's important to be more relaxed and to do a few stretches before we start the actual session.
Yeah,
It's
true.
very important. And each one of them, I mean, each one of us does it the way we deem it's best before the session starts. Yeah.
But are there any more important techniques in mixed martial arts? I mean, what is the principle of all, or what would you like your students, to grab inside in the tatami and outside as well?
Well, first and foremost, respect. Okay, you learn to respect others, and the most important is learn to respect yourself. Discipline. Okay, you have to.
Consistency is very important, right?
Beg your pardon?
Consistency.
Absolutely. I mean, for anyone who does MMA, you have to be there on the mat at least twice a week. Outside conditioning, like working on your own strength, it's good to be there at least twice a week. And this is where you'll know what you're made of. Because, as I said, if you're not on the mat, you wouldn't know what is there inside of you. And what comes out is not just physical, it's again emotional, mental, and all that is balance and flexibility comes all together. Yeah,
Kanika conditioning is also pivotal in mixed martial art forms
absolutely.
because it's very high intensity and physical demand
Hmm.
for competition, for training as well. So how is this sport a form of fitness, and how in what ways does it improve balance or our flexibility too?
Well, in every way, actually, because when you work, whether you're practicing stand up techniques or ground techniques, all of that relates to become more flexible. Okay. So, a simple example, someone who's like in terms of weight heavier than you and you're very small, the question will always be, how do I get to fight? But if you are someone who's in conditioning and you work on your strength, no matter what your weight, you can get to do it, right? So yes, conditioning is of prime importance here. So you can be on the mat twice a week for your MMA session, but it's as important to be at the gym as well, working on your strength, physical strength and fitness. Yes.
Kanika, like we've talked earlier, that mixed martial art bring a sort of discipline in lives, if you are more emotionally relaxed and all. How do you, when your student first joined the class and when they started the training, how do you see the difference now? Do you see any change in the way your students are?
Obviously, you see them thrive. For example, the lady athlete who went for the African Championship, I still do remember when she joined us first, how it was, and how she has grown into a fabulous person and always wanting to do her best when she goes for competitions, but always there to do her best on the mat, working on herself and working with others, always getting others to join. I mean, to join her and to work. I mean, this is what it's all about. We're here for the sharing, right? And this is what you see. I mean, when you see kids as well, teaching them to respect others, this is so much fun actually, getting them to grow and learn to defend. It is really wonderful to see them thrive, and they all do in their own way. And I can say that MMA gives them that space where they get to release all the mental stress that they have at school.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
whether they're studying, it's really the place where they really get to, release it all.
yeah, let it
And
go.
this is what is the good part of it. And I get so many parents telling us all the time there's nothing doing. They're not ready to negotiate for not going to the MMA session. Nothing doing. They have to be here on the mat.
Yeah.
So that's what's so good actually about the students. This is the improvement and the growth. And they grow into wonderful individuals as well.
But sometimes it can be difficult, right? When you have different levels of students in a class, and to help them reach their utmost potential can be challenging as a coach.
While we work on it all, because as a coach, you learn together.
Yeah,
It's the same
that's a nice point
for
of
us
view.
as well. So we're all growing and we work together. So it can be challenging at times, but this is part of it. So an athlete could have won the world championship, but it doesn't stop there. It goes on. So we keep growing, we keep evolving. Yes, that's what it's all about.
But are there any aspects that one should take into consideration before joining a mixed martial arts class?
Well, it's very important to understand just that I said at the start, like we are under IMAF, which ensures that this sport is practiced safely wherever it is practiced. So there's so many rules and regulations that we have to observe to ensure that you are in a safe environment. So we have all the equipment that are there. We ensure that every student has his insurance license, and so that to ensure that whatever happens, you're covered. And yes, that's what it's all about. Yeah,
So, do you think that it's important for combat sports, martial arts to evolve?
absolutely. The time is now, and as I said, it's not only about being on the in the cage. It's a recreational sport, and believe me, when you talk about physical fitness, it is the sport that you would want to practice. A little like I like to share something with you. We used to have a student who used to come, and he said like practicing one hour of MMA on the mat is equal to running 3 rounds of the wellness park at Sodnike. I mean, as good as that. So you see, if you talk about fitness and really conditioning, it's part of that as well altogether.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
But now, what are the changes that you wish to bring, in this sport, in this art form?
Well, MMA at the very start is was all mostly a male-dominated sports. So what the change I want to bring is to see more and more girls, ladies, joining us and practicing it. whether it be as athletes becoming elite, whether it be as for a fitness reason or to learn self defense, because as I said, it's a very good way to do it. And one important thing is that we have many opportunities open. The fact that we're attached to IMF, and we at our federation level we organize a lot of championships local
Yeah.
and tournaments, and we have a lot there happening. So we give you opportunity to come, and if you don't want to be an athlete, you can be a coach, for instance. We have courses that are run by IMAF, so you can enroll for that. And then you can become a coach and start your own business doing MMA. And you can also become a referee, a cutman. There's so much there. Opportunities are there. So, yes, get more people to understand that this is not just a sport, so we can build an enterprise through it. Yes.
We are actually drawing towards the end of this episode, but before that, Kanika, any advice you would like to give our audience to encourage them to practice mixed martial arts?
Well, you have everything to get from mixed martial arts. And really come and give it a try, and you'll see that you missed out on so much. So the time is now. And another thing is, I'd like to share what Bruce Lee always said: be like water, my friends. So doing martial arts in a way allows you to understand what he says there. So water can take any form. You pour water into a glass, the glass becomes a glass of water, and the bottle becomes a bottle of water. So this is the opportunity. I mean, we all talk about spirituality. Some way, somehow, when you come to water, it is the sport in itself that brings you to become so flexible in every way, and then be such a better being in your day to day life as well.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, very loudly say that it's the sport to embrace today.
Thank you, Kanika. It was a
Thank you so
delight to
much.
have you on the set tonight to learn more about this beautiful combat sport.
Thank you, Koyal, for having me.
Dear viewers, we have now come to the end of this episode. Thank you for your time. We hope to catch you next week at the same time, same channel. Have a great evening.